The story of Kennedy and Trump has changed the course of history forever. August 23rd, 2024 will forever be known as the day we turned the corner and took back our great nation and changed the course of history and brought hope to a free world. Join me as we relive the strange relationship between Kennedy and Trump, leading to their return to the White House to make America healthy and great again. I spent 2 years following the Kennedy and Trump campaigns. Long before the two men ever considered running for president, Kennedy sued Trump and stopped him from building a golf course near the Hudson River. After Trump won the presidency in 2016, he recruited Kennedy to look into vaccine safety issues. Kennedy was forced out the door after clashing with a man by the name of Anthony Fauci. But the assassination attempt on President Trump's life brought Kennedy and Trump closer than ever. From rivals to collaborators, from foes to friends, this is the story of Kennedy and Trump. You can download the book for free right now by going to kennedyandtrump.com. That's kennedyandtrump.com. My name is Greg Fernandez Jr. God bless you all. All right, welcome. Thank you all for joining me here for another episode of the Kennedy and Trump book reading. We're going to get right into where we left off from last time. We are now on part 3 in the free PDF. This is on page 107. We're going to begin there and move right along. This has been a very interesting experience. That was a rough part. Part 2 was rough. It was rough writing it, so I can only imagine what it's like trying to read it and make some sense of it. But I believe there's a lot of good details in there, a lot of good research in there, and I do hope that it will help fellow future and former researchers in their quest, in their journey, when they have questions, when they want to look back on this. A book like this, Kennedy and Trump, will age like fine wine. I have no doubt about that. Because it's the relevance of the story, the monumental, and yes, I did say history making. I was like, I don't know if I should have said that twice. Kind of makes it sound like I repeating myself, but it's worth repeating. The history changing events, making history, and you hear it all the time. It's so cliche now, but for me, it's a very important moment in history. Changed the way that I was feeling, that I was thinking, got me back involved into this great nation, and made me want to become a part of the Unity Party. So it's very fitting today that we start right here. Part 3, the Unity Party. Let's go through this together. See how far we get today. All right. One of the first things President Trump did after being shot in the ear was talk on the phone with Kennedy. The two presidential candidates discussed the health risks of vaccines given to small children. I agree with you, man, Trump told Kennedy. Something's wrong with that whole system. Yep, said Kennedy. And it's the doctors, Trump continued. You remember I said I want to do small doses. When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that has like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. My hoarse voice as it kicks in. And did you ever see the size of it, right? It's this massive, and then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times, and then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. That's just a little bit of the leaked conversation between Kennedy and Trump that happened right after President Trump's assassination attempt. The whole thing is available online. I have it on my YouTube channel too. The audio is really difficult. It's hard to hear. It's not too bad, but it's mostly just Trump talking in the audio clip that I that I heard, saw, and was but the good audio is out there, the good video is definitely out there, because they were documenting, a documentarian was following Kennedy during this whole time. Okay, the next day Trump expressed the need for Kennedy to have Secret Service protection. So this is interesting too. President Trump gets killed, and one of his first things to do the following day is to have his political rival to call for his political rival to have Secret Service protection immediately. I thought that was fascinating too. Trump is not a selfish guy. Not a selfish guy. I love what Kirk Cameron says about Trump. If you have not seen the Kirk Cameron show, please go and check that out. He is covering 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He covers so much good stuff, Kirk Cameron does, all relevant, all just about what is going on in the world from pop culture, and all related to what we all know, Jesus Christ. So this is crazy. Trump gets shot, and then he's gonna make sure that Kennedy has Secret Service protection. Let me read on. In light of what is going on in the world today, Trump wrote on Truth Social, I believe it is imperative that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. receive Secret Service protection immediately. Given the history of the Kennedy family, this is the obvious right thing to do. Within minutes, Kennedy reposted President Trump's request on Twitter. A few hours later, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas held a press conference to announce Biden was finally granting Kennedy Secret Service protection. It's interesting to note both Trump and DHS Secretary Mayorkas began their remarks with the same three words, in light of. In light of this weekend's events, said Mayorkas, the president has directed me to work with the Secret Service to provide protection to Robert Kennedy Jr. Thank you to President Biden for granting me Secret Service protection, Kennedy posted on Twitter, and I am so grateful to Gavin DeBecker and associates for keeping me safe for the last 15 months of my presidential campaign. Now, finally, Kennedy would stop shelling out his own money for private security. That was the good news. Then there was the bad news. After seeing how the Secret Service was unable to protect President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, I was worried about their ability to protect Kennedy 4 months before the most important election of our lifetime. I privately hoped Kennedy thanked Trump for his efforts. Team Biden's reversal in this position regarding Kennedy's Secret Service request only happened because of President Trump. Other factors may have contributed to Biden finally giving in to the request, but the catalyst was definitely the events of July 13th, 2024. After a failed assassination attempt, President Trump used the attention to remind the American people and those watching around the world how we move forward in uniting our great country. The attacks on President Trump needed to end. The dismissal of the lawless indictments in Florida should be just the first step, Trump wrote on Truth Social on July 15, 2024, followed quickly by the dismissal of all the witch hunts, the January 6th hoax in Washington, D.C., the Manhattan DA's zombie case, the New York AG scam, fake claims about a woman I never met, a decades-old photo in line with her then husband does not count, and the Georgia perfect phone call charges. The Democrat Justice Department coordinated all of these political attacks, which are an election interference conspiracy against Joe Biden's political opponents, me. Let us come together to end all weaponization of our justice system and make America great again. So this is where you can clearly see the tide is turning. Things are, I believe Trump's momentum was already there, but it just seemed to take on a whole new level after he almost died. On live TV, in front of thousands of people, millions around the world watching at home, and everybody waiting to see who would be the next president of this great United States. This was a very defining moment here, as Trump could have answered, responded in many numerous ways. This was his response to make sure RFK Jr. had Secret Service protection, which he needed, and then also to say we need to stop these games, these political witch hunts that are just fabricated, have been made up, that he's been going through since at least 2015, if not earlier. This has been a long time. We're in 2025 right now. They're still trying to move things. Things are happening right now. Things are changing. John Bolton's house got raided today, and what they're looking for is classified documents. And like Hulk Hogan once said, all the stuff that they are accusing President Trump of are probably things that they are actually doing. That's the irony in all of this. So in the next few years, when you see, oh, look, the Trump administration is going after these people for these crimes. Oh, these are the crimes that Trump was accused of. It's very fitting. It's very fitting. And it's just the way life is. It's the way that God works. But Trump stayed true, did not lose his cool. And I can respect that. Now, in this book, I should probably mention that I did take out a lot of I wrote a whole chapter, or a whole part about Kennedy's Secret Service journey, how he was asking for Secret Service protection. He lays out his case, and then doesn't get it, and then finally gets it at the end. I took all of that out of this book. It just did not flow for some reason. It just did not flow. So what I ended up doing was putting it into my other book, Shadows of Light. There's actually 2 chapters that I took out of this book that are at the end. They actually end Shadows of Light, my next book that is coming out soon. So it's kind of fitting where all these books, the nonfiction books that I've been writing, they do all tie in to each other. David Crowley book, maybe not so much, maybe a little bit, but that one will be hard to kind of tie in to all of the other books that I've written, starting with 9/11. So that will be a little bit difficult to tie the David Crowley one in there. You could do it. I could do it. I could make a strong argument for it. But if you just look at these 3 books, 9/11, Kennedy and Trump, Shadows of Light, and you can include the 4th one, Invisible Enemy, the early days of COVID-19. Those 4 books are pretty much all one big book. They really are all different parts of the same book. All wings of the same ugly bird, or the beautiful bird, however you want to look at it. But that was tough to take out the chapter that I wrote about Kennedy's journey of getting Secret Service protection, because like Trump said, it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you not give him Secret Service protection, knowing the history of his family? And we can imagine, we can speculate why that didn't happen, what the end game was, what the plan was there, why they did not want to give RFK Jr. Secret Service protection, but it would only be speculation. We've had enough of that. Soon after Trump posted about uniting the nation, Kennedy addressed the rumors going around about my meeting this morning with President Trump. Our main topic was national unity, and I hope to meet with Democratic leaders about that as well. Most importantly, in my mind, Kennedy clarified to his supporters, no, no, I am not dropping out of the race. I almost thought I missed a quote there. Ooh, I'm about to freak out. All right. Thank God President Trump survived the assassination attempt on his life 2 days prior. This allowed Trump to announce his vice presidential pick, Senator J.D. Vance. I try not to think about this, but what if Trump had not survived the shooting and a vice president had not been selected? Who would be next in line? Nikki Haley? Thankfully, there are some questions we will never have to answer. I had never heard of Senator Vance before Trump's social media posts. One of the first things I did was purchase Senator Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy. It's a sad story about Vance's childhood and an inspiring reminder. I'm going to read that again. It's a sad story about Vance's childhood and an inspiring reminder that no matter how bad your childhood is, you can still overcome the odds and rise to great heights in America. After lengthy deliberation, I think I did miss something right there. No matter. Yeah, I did. I need the how. I need to mark that down. Marking it down. Might be too late to go back and edit that, actually. So we'll see. That's page 102. And how. Might be too late for that. We'll see. After lengthy deliberation and thought, Trump wrote on Truth Social, and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is Senator J.D. Vance of the great state of Ohio. Trump then listed off many of Vance's accomplishments over the years. J.D. honorably served our country in the Marine Corps, graduated from Ohio State University in 2 years, summa cum laude, and is a Yale Law School graduate, where he was editor of the Yale Law Journal and president of the Yale Law Veterans Association. J.D.'s book, Hillbilly Elegy, became a major bestseller and a movie, as it championed the hardworking men and women of our country. Ben Shapiro chimed in during a Fox News segment to share his thoughts on J.D. Vance. It's certainly an audacious pick by President Trump. It's a move to double down on Trumpism as a philosophy. J.D. Vance has an extraordinarily high IQ, really articulate, a real bulldog on behalf of the United States. And that is something different than many people were looking for. He's not as much of a unity pick as he is a militant move by President Trump to say that he is actually going to impose an agenda that he likes once he gets back into office. Now, I'm not really a Ben Shapiro fan, don't really like the guy, don't care too much for him, but I did find this quote fascinating. I felt it was good to put this into the book. Looking back at it now, I'm really glad that I did, especially the militant move, because yes, the militant move, that now makes a lot more sense to me. As you will see, the high quality military personnel that Trump has recruited to his administration, it has been fascinating to watch and to see. If you have not seen it, maybe I should play that, because it is really good. RFK Jr. and Pete Hegseth doing a challenge, and I really liked this challenge. So I may actually play a little bit of this. I haven't stopped and played videos in a while, but I'm going to play a little bit of this video. I thought it was good.
The White House is telling you just to go take a hike.
I try to hike every day because it improves my focus, my clarity.
I'm going to skip the Dr. Oz part. That part is good too, but I really want to get into...
They were driven by the same commercial impulse.
Yeah, I want to get into the military.
That put fruit understandable, and they will begin to change America almost immediately.
RFK is putting his money where his mouth is. He teamed up with Secretary Hegseth to start the Pete and Bobby Challenge.
Here we are in the bowels of the Pentagon for the Pete and Bobby Challenge.
And the challenge is to do 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in any order you want in under 10 minutes.
Oh, I wonder if I could do that. Hurts just looking at it.
The Secretary of Defense shark attack. You can do better, Ranger Tom! Let's go! Make your country proud!
We want to send out a challenge to Sean Duffy.
Let's challenge the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Raising Cane, and then my friend on TV, Will Kane. We hope America.
I mean, these are two of the top people running our nation right now. Look at this. This is great. This is amazing. I love this. Healthy challenges. We're going to see a lot more of this during the presidential fitness games that are coming back, led by RFK Jr. So yeah, this is the time, man. I'll be working on my gut too. That's the next thing for me to go.
Challenge, and you'll pass it along.
But this is great to see.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is here. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started, I have to ask you a question that everybody's
funny.
wondering about. Why do you wear jeans when you work out?
Well, I just started doing that a long time ago because I would go hiking in the morning and then I'd go straight to the gym. And I found it was convenient and now I'm used to it. So I just do it.
Okay. There were a lot of theories, but that makes perfect sense. So I misread the challenge. I got up in the morning and I thought you do 100 push-ups and 50 pull-ups in 5 minutes. So I tried it in 5 minutes and I failed. And then I came into the office and I heard I had an extra 5 minutes. So I know I can do it. I just needed a little bit more time. How long did it take you?
I got 5 minutes and 48 seconds.
Oh my God.
And Pete got 5 minutes and 25 seconds. But that Marine that Marine woman that you filmed, she got 3 minutes and 46 seconds.
Get out of here.
And one of the Marines got 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So, but I really wanted to see what you do. And I think, Jesse, if you could put it, post it on TikTok or X, the actual film of you doing it. And then it will make it easier for us all to check your style.
To believe me is what you're saying. Okay. I'll see what I can do and we'll put it up on the show. And now that I know that I have 10, I'm going to pace myself.
That's so cool.
Is this like the ice bucket challenge where people were naming somebody and it's just a kind of a good thing to get momentum with? Why is this so important?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're trying to get our kids now are spending 7 hours a day on average in front of their screens. And we got to get them out. My uncle in 1960, a month before he took the oath of office, he wrote an article for Sports Illustrated called The Soft American. And it was about how worried he was that we were falling behind Europe and other nations. And that America had been created by this beef jerky toughness. We're the toughest people in the world. We tamed the wilderness. We built this extraordinary economy. And now we were losing that. And today it is so much worse. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. And the obesity rates are over 50%. The diabetes rates now, 38% of our teens are pre-diabetic or diabetic. And, you can 77% of type 2 diabetes cases can lose their diagnosis or arrest the disease just by changing their diet. So we need to start thinking about getting Americans in shape again. And we made this challenge, particularly for young people. We'd love you to post your time, your challenge on Instagram or Truth Social or X or TikTok or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just challenging people to get up and get moving.
All right.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I'm sure many, many people in this great nation do too. That was amazing to hear. I know I was jumping around a little bit, but it was that I just watched that yesterday and was very impressed by it. Okay, getting back to the book. Let's go back to the call between Kennedy and Trump. Everything changed after President Trump got shot. The conversation between Kennedy and Trump that same night renewed my hope that these two would find a way to work together in 2025, regardless of who would be the next president of the United States. I would love you to do something, Trump told Kennedy over the phone, and I think it would be so good for you and so big for you, and we're going to win. We're going to win. We're way ahead of the guy. This is all before Biden drops out. Before Trump spoke with Kennedy, he received a call from Joe Biden. He's interesting, Trump told Kennedy. Biden was very nice, actually. He called me and he said, "How did you choose to move to the right?" I guess that's how people see it, If I was looking straight up. I said, "I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on. What did he say? I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country, but I just turned my head to show the chart, and something wrapped me. It felt like the world's largest mosquito, and it was. It was the bullet going around. You know, what do they call that? An AR-15 or something? That was a big gun. And those are pretty tough guns, right? Now the leaked clip ends there. My fear is the leaked video damaged the relationship between Kennedy and Trump. I sure hope I'm wrong. Remember, some of this I'm actually writing in real time here too. So that's why I kind of, oh, is it past tense, present tense? It does jump a little bit back and forth. But again, I'm trying to document a lot of this in real time. So I'm not writing and then summarizing and then going back and creating my own thing. I'm really trying to kind of just document this as we go. So I've never written a book like this. It was a very fun, well, the COVID book was kind of written that same way. Most of it is, but I've never published a book that was written this way, where you're documenting it in real time. And that's what I'm doing with the second one right now. So you may see some things like that in the second book, in the sequel to this book. Well, that won't be out until at least 2028, 2029, because it's going to go all the way until President Trump leaves the Oval Office, which will be a sad day. All right. So yes, so I was wrong, and that is a good thing. It did not damage their relationship. This video being leaked, I really thought that it would. And I was like, what happened? What is going on with this? Why was this leaked? So we're going to learn a little bit about this. Not all of the answers that I was hoping for, but we'll learn a little bit. Kennedy was mortified when the video surfaced, and he sought to set the record straight about the short clip posted and have it quickly removed from Twitter on July 16, 2024. When President Trump called me, Kennedy explained in a Twitter post, I was taping with an in-house videographer. I should have ordered the videographer to stop recording immediately. I am mortified that this was posted. I apologize to the president. It was Bobby Kennedy III who first posted the video clip on Twitter with the caption, I'm a firm believer that these sorts of conversations should be had in public. Here's Trump giving his real opinion to my dad about vaccinating kids. This was the day after the assassination attempt. I'm not sure why Kennedy's son thought it was a good idea to post that on Twitter without his father's permission, but he did. Kennedy's son removed the video and posted, remove last one for mistaking sarcasm for real life. I have no idea what that means. I don't know if you have any idea what that means, but this is a great place to stop right here, because we'll get into the RNC convention, night four, where President Trump speaks for the first time after being shot. He's got the bandage on his ear. Oh, maybe one of the only times it looked like President Trump was about to cry. It was a very somber moment, a very sad moment, but the good news is the speakers that day were some amazing speakers, including Hulk Hogan, who stole the show for me. The best speech of the night was Hulk Hogan. God bless you all. Until next time, God loves you, Jesus loves you, and so do I.